طالب يا أخ الرسول يا زوج البتول يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت محمد أيتها البتول يا قرة عين الرسول يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله اشفعي لنا عند الله يا وجيحة عند الله اشفعي لنا عند الله يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيحا عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين أيها السجاد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباقر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر يا أبا إبراهيم يا موسى بن جعفر أيها الكاظم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الهادي النقي يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وسيء الحسن والخلف الصالح الهجة أيها القائم المنتظر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا حاجات. يا سادتي موالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي وودتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله وتوسلت بكم إلى الله واستشفعت بكم إلى الله فاشفعوا لي عند الله واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله فكونوا عند الله رجائي يا سادتي يا أولياء الله صلى الله عليهم أجمعين ولعن الله أعداء الله الظالمين من الأولين والآخرين آمين رب العالمين. فشفای مریض، سلامتی حضور آقا امام زمان، صلوات.
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen wa Maulana Abil Qasim Muhammad. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. أما بعد، فقد قال الحكيم في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. Dear brothers and sisters, first of all, I congratulate you on the auspicious day of birth anniversary of our fifth Imam, Imam Baqir alayhi salam, whose title was Baqir. It means splitter of knowledge. And this aspect is very important. And the life of Imam Baqir alayhi salam and Imam Sadiq alayhi salam was the turning point in the Shia history. And this is the aspect that I'm going to discuss today as well. But at the same time, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this auspicious day to give us tawfiq to follow the footprints of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. And these are also the last hours of this year 2024. And then we are stepping into the new year. So lot of prayers for all of you, lot of prayers for our community members. Inshallah, may Allah increase your tawfiqat. May Allah give you more strength and more patience so that you can overcome your challenges and increase your hope. And may Allah, inshallah, give us tawfiq to ponder over our goals and our deficiencies. And may Allah give us strength and tawfiq so we are not repeating some of the mistakes that we did in the past or in this year. So these are, again, I would say, I will little bit more explain in my Friday prayer. But this auspicious day, Imam Baqir alayhi salam, he was experiencing a lot of challenges. And these challenges were very important. His battlefield was different. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for example, he was physically fighting with the army of Yazid. Imam Ali alayhi salam was throughout his life, we see after the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was physically fighting with the enemies of his time. But the battlefield of Imam Baqir alayhi salam was the academic battlefield. And there was a fight and confliction and contradiction and different kind of thoughts, philosophical thoughts, theological, psychological, scientific, and different kind of sects were there. Different kind of religions were preaching at that time. Jewish people were there, Christians were there. They were given a free hand at that time. And then theological sects were there. And these theological sects were very dangerous because they were basically deviant sects. They were deviated from the right path. And it was very important that someone must have been there to respond to them. So Imam Baqir alayhi salam had this academic front, and then he fought against those who, against the influence of un-Islamic culture penetrating in Muslim society and nobody was there to face and to repel this academic attack. So Imam Baqir alayhi salam established Islamic University. He also raised students, 4,000 students, and he worked on very important aspect. He worked on the specialization of his students. Not only ordinary students, not only generally they were attending the lectures of Imam Baqir alayhi salam, but they were becoming specialists. Some students were becoming philosopher, some were theologian, so some in the moral and ethical aspects, some were working in the area of jurisprudence, which is called fiqh. So we can see how Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he was educating his students so that they were able to fight with different kind of sects, like we say, like Jabriya, determinist. They would believe in, they would believe that we have no will at all. We don't have any free will. Whatever we are doing, our all actions are attributed to God, and God is doing, this is the action, these are the actions of God, not our. And there are some verses, and they were misinterpreting these verses of the Quran. And luckily, I discussed in detail in my last Sunday tafsir some of these verses, that how these verses were misused and misinterpreted by this determinists, and they were saying that God is very clearly saying that without my will, you cannot do anything. Whatever you are doing, I am giving you the permission. With my permission, you are going to do. So I discussed this verse, and there is another set which was Qadriya, and they would believe in delegation, that God has delegated them, God has, which is said tafweez in Arabic, that God has given them full freedom. Whatever you want to do, you have free will. So between these two, Imam Baqir alayhi salam was fighting with these two sects, and then those who were denying the existence of God, they were totally against any kind of religion and some other sects. So this is what we see. On the other hand, we had some those people who were innovating. They were doing bid'at. So when you are innovating something, what does it mean? So bid'at, the definition of bid'at is idkhalu ma laysa fid din. Something which is not related to religion, you are entering or you are making it religious. So many things are still existing in our rituals that we are considering them. So these things are from religion, but maybe nothing to do with religion. Maybe it may be related to our culture. And it is really, really very difficult that we separate cultural aspect, political aspects from religious aspects. So these people were there. And then those who were exaggerators, they were also there. Exaggerators, they were ghali, they would do ghulu, they were exaggerating. It means that they were attributing the qualities to their imams, and imams were not claiming these qualities. And still happening in our communities. Lot of ghalis are there. When Muharram comes, you see that how many speakers, the way they are exaggerating, and this is very dangerous, and Imam Baqir alayhi salam fought with this thought and this approach. They are sometimes, even they are unintentionally, they are thinking that they are doing great job because they are highlighting the virtuous aspects of their Imam. They are mentioning the fazilat of their Imam. But actually, if you see at the deeper level, you will see that they are degrading Imams. They are insulting the status of Imamat. So all these things are happening, and lot of beautiful examples are there how Imam Baqir alayhi salam was responding to them. So this is what we can say the challenges Imam alayhi salam was facing. And one example, for example, one of the most famous jurisprudent of that time, his name was Qatada bin Du'ama Basri, and he wanted to talk with Imam Baqir alayhi salam. And Imam alayhi salam started to discuss fiqhi and jurisprudential issues. And then Imam also at the same time wanted to give very important message. What Imam Baqir alayhi salam did, he explained and he introduced the school of Imamat and Wilayat. Till that time, people were not fully aware and they were not very much insightful about the system of Imamat. What is the difference of prophecy, Nabuwat and Imamat? And Imam Baqir alayhi salam, first time systematically, he educated the people of his time, and he highlighted the fact that how Imamat is the continuation of Nabuwat, because this is very challenging. If even we are asking about ourselves, actually we believe in Imamat and Wilayah. So what is the meaning of Imamat? It will be very difficult for majority of us to really understand the importance of Imamat in the light of continuation of Nabuwat. So why without Imamat we were not able to live? Why there was a need to appoint someone who is Imam and who is Wali? So this is in itself theologically very important issue and very important topic. So Imam alayhi salam wanted to introduce the system of Imamat as well. And he said to this person who was really faqih, are you from Basra? You are coming from Basra and you are giving fatwa and fatawa. He said, yes, I am doing this one. And you don't know, now see what Imam says, you don't know that Allah has created deserving people? Do you not know that Allah has already created who are really competent and who are worthy of respect? This is what Imam alayhi salam said. And then he recited two beautiful verses. He recited, Fi buyutin adina Allahu an turfa'a wa yuskara fiha ismuh. That the very guided people, they are worshipping in the houses in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has permitted to his name is raised and recounted, and his purity is pronounced in these houses. So, and then he says, وَرِجَالٌ لَا تُلْهِهِمْ تِجَارَةٌ وَلَا بَيْءٌ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. There are people, when they are trading, when they are involved and in buying and selling, their heart is not neglectful of the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This verse was recited by Imam Baqir alayhi salam to this faqih to let him know that these verses are already highlighting and mentioning the very high mystic and spiritual status of, because this ayah started with rijalun, those tulhihim tijaratun wala bay'un. They are already involved in their worldly activities. They are doing trade, they are doing buying and selling. But at the same time, they are remembering their God. They are not neglectful of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is extremely difficult or not understandable for us. How is it possible when we are heavily engaged in our worldly matters and worldly affairs, and at the same time I say I am not forgetting and I am not neglectful of remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Definitely I am not remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I am doing something which is related to this world, when I am doing my job. So I have to do my job. How I can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? But Quran is saying, it's very difficult for us to really understand the depth of this verse. But Imam says, Rijalun, people are there and their heart is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then about those who are exaggerators, Imam alayhi salam then gives a very important message. Imam says that our followers should be in the middle. They are ummate wusta according to the Quran. They are middle nation. They are not leaning towards two extremes. You have to be in the middle. You have to balance your life. You have to establish a kind of balance between these two extremes. And this is excellent theological and Quranic principle. And I will discuss another time that how in every area of in every aspect of our life, whether it is related to our thoughts and related to our feelings and emotions, or related to our actions, in all these three areas, in every whatever the worldly affairs we are involved, we can see where is the middle way and what are the extremes. You cannot show me one place where you say it is very difficult for us to know where is the middle. So it's a beautiful principle. The problem is we are inattentive to this principle. We are neglectful of this principle, that sometimes I am very angry, or sometimes where I have to show my anger, I am not doing this one. So for example, sometimes I am very hopeful and sometimes I am very fearful. I have to be in the middle of hope and fear. So, so many examples are there. So Imam taught them that the qualities you are attributing to us, we are not claiming this one. And he says, we are not the compromised people. Imam says, we are not compromised. We don't have any relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't have any special relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except through the submission and submissiveness to Allah. If ita'at is not there, if amalu saleh is not there, we don't have any kind of relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then this is what, which is happening, unfortunately, and I have already spoken in my majalis in different places, that how we should notice these things. Because sometimes we are, for example, if you ask me, I will say, no, there is no exaggeration, there is no hulu. But I am focusing on the fazail of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. But I am not aware, or at least people are not noticing this one, that the image we are giving, the impression we are giving, as for example, Ali is God. If you ask me, no, Ali is not God. God is God. Ali is the one of the creations. But actually, the way I am explaining the thing, it shows to other people that, oh, Ali is more important than God. I will show Imam Hussein is more important than Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is what we are doing in our practice. So these kind of exaggerations are there, and Imam really was fighting against this kind of approach. And then he would focus on the Quran as well. And it was very important for Imam Baqir alayhi salam to focus on Quran, to the centrality of the Quran. And then this is why, but before coming to this point, I just wanted to say that this is great pride for us. This is great pride for us. We should be proud of this school of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. Why? I am saying this because this is my specialized field. I worked hard and got my education in philosophy and theology, and I am always comparing our school of thought with other schools of thought, whether they are from Muslim or Christian and Jews. And I'm so glad, I'm so proud of this one, that we have very strong philosophical and theological and academic foundation. If any religion is there, there are so many religions, there are so many faith traditions, there are so many denominations. But even with some of my Christian friends, when I talk with them, when I have some discussion programs, so I am not telling them that you are lacking this or that, because this is disrespectful. I am not doing this one. But I have my feelings that how much, because of the efforts of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, Imam Baqir alayhi salam, these two Imam who provided the solid, the very important academic foundation to this religion. Now, if there is any issue like related to theology, related to philosophy, related to morality, related to theology, we have a lot of philosophers, urafa, and they have contributed in this religion, and they got everything, whatever the grounds provided by our imams. So this is extremely important, that we have philosophy, we have theology, we have strong academic grounds. Then we are not weak. When we need to discuss with someone, we have enough arguments in our hand. We have enough logic in our hand. So this is what today we are celebrating, this great Imam whose contribution is important. We have Nahjul Balagha from Imam Ali alayhi salam. Lot of sermons were there. But our other Imams, before Imam Baqir alayhi salam, they did not have this time to provide the academic grounds of this religion. And before Imam Baqir alayhi salam, at the time of Imam Zainul Abidin, at the time of Imam Hussain, the time of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain and Imam Ali, they did not have time to making this more systematic education to give and then provide this foundation. So this is what I was saying about the centrality of the Quran. What I noticed Imam Baqir alayhi salam was saying, that whenever he was mentioning any issue, people used to come and ask some questions. But Imam was always focusing on another aspect. And Imam would say, you have asked your questions, I have answered you, but it should not be enough for you. It should not be enough for you. Because once you have got the answer, even you have satisfied, but it is your duty to ask me whatever I am saying, where is it in the Quran? I have to tell you, I have to satisfy you, I have to bring up this relevant Quranic verse so that you should know the importance of Quran, that you should know that we are part of the Quran, that you should know we are not deviating from the Quran. It is very important for us. So this is one example we see. Now, the other part of my, for this session will be related to the teachings of Ahl Bayt, the teachings of Imam Baqir alayhi salam. Because why we are connected to Imam or Imamat? Why Imamat is important for me? Why Imamat is important, Wilayat is important for me? They are not important in itself. They are important because if I believe Imamat, this will enable me, this will help me to go to the teachings of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. But if I don't have Iman, I don't have faith, I don't believe in Imamat, I don't believe in Wilayat, then their teachings will not be important for me. And this is happening in Muslim societies, and this is what we see. Those who are not believing in Imam or Imamat or Wilayat, so they don't care what Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has said, Imam Baqir alayhi salam said. But if you dive into the teachings of these great Imams, I would say these teachings are nothing to do with any religion. These teachings are for humanity, for insaniyat, and we are basically limiting them to ourselves. But actually, when we see the teachings of Ahl Bayt and we see the beautiful, the deepest moral, ethical, spiritual principles that they are introducing, anyone can take benefit from this one. Whether someone is Christian or Jew or whosoever. So this is Imam, for example, so teachings of Ahl Bayt always important. So now, for example, Imam says, it is one aspect that I want to mention. Imam says, you should learn how to travel from Darul Ghurur to Darul Qarar. So what does it mean? Imam is saying that Darul Ghurur, Quran says, Mal hayatu dunya illa mata'ul ghurur. This world is deceiving you. This dunya is deceiving you. And this is not the place of eternity. And the akhirat, the day of judgment hereafter, will be the place of eternity. And you should have this art. It's not only education, not only information, not only knowledge. You need to have the art to travel from this Darul Ghurur, which is deceptive, which is deceiving you, to the Darul Qarar, which is your eternal place to live. And then Imam alayhi salam is explaining more about this one, that actually you are thinking, when we say dunya, when we see world, we have misunderstanding about this. This world is not bad. This dunya is not deceiving you. This sky or heavens, this is not dunya what Quran is saying. They are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you see mountains, this is not the dunya. These are the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you see oceans, oceans are the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what is the dunya? Dunya is related to our own conceptions, our own estimations, our own imaginations. This is basically related to dunya. For example, when I possess something, I become malik and owner of something, owner of my house, owner for my car, and then I have this conceptual understanding that, okay, so I have relationship with my car, with my house, with my position. This is my position, this is not your position. This is my car, this is not your car. When it is happening, then it is causing a lot of other issues, a lot of other moral and ethical aspects. So without going into the detail, this is one aspect that Imam alayhi salam said. And Imam also said then that you need to evaluate yourself. Quran is scale for you. And why you need this scale? As you need scale for everything. For example, you go to get fruits, so you need to scale it, and then you are weighing it. Imam says that, so what about your beliefs? What about your feelings? What about your thoughts? What about your actions? You don't need scale, you need scale. You have to go to the Quran. Quran is your scale. And Quran will tell you, you have to weigh your amal with truthfulness. And then again, what is the meaning of truthfulness? Imam is explaining a lot. So very beautiful aspects are there. Imam says, then you will understand your own worth. Because first question is, what is my worth? What is my value in this world? I need to know, because this is helping me to understand whether my worth is just to pay more attention and focus on material aspects. This is my worth. My worth is that this world is more important for me. This is my worth. I have to be self-centered. This is my worth. Imam says, when you associate yourself, harmonize yourself with the Quran, then you will understand actually you are far above than what you were thinking about. You will understand your worth is not for this world. You are more worthy of respect than you are thinking about yourself. So this is what Imam alayhi salam says. And then only the last point, and then without going into the detail, Imam says, if you don't have, what is happening, because speakers are coming, scholars are coming, majalis always we are attending, but we see little effect. Why? It's a very important question. Why we don't see the actual effect? Why we don't see actual spiritual growth? And we are spending millions and millions and billions of dollars on this. But our community, if I compare, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying that I'm always comparing. When I was in Pakistan, other places, so I was comparing with those who were not following Ahl Bayt, who were even not following, who were not accepting the existence of God. They were not religious. They are more truthful, they are more trustworthy than we Muslims and follower of Ahl Bayt. This is always happening. The answer has been given by Imam Baqir alayhi salam and our other Imam. They said, why we don't see the effect of our admonish, when we are admonishing, when we are giving advice, when we are giving sermons, but there is no effect. People are listening and listening, and then they are going back, and they have still moral issues, they have still ethical issues, they have still spiritual issues. Why? Because if you don't have inner admonisher, external admonisher will not be able to do anything for you. Quran will not be able to help you. Ahl Bayt will not be able to help you. Prophets of God will not be able to help you. Why? Because if you are, Imam Ali, if you are not helping yourself to create and establish your inner wise, something should be within yourself who could give you advice and admonition. So you will be able to listen your own voice, your own consciousness. Then when I am saying something to you, you will listen to this one. Prophets are saying, Quran is saying, I will also listen, and I will see the effect also. So, Wa'iz Duruni is internal Wa'iz, internal admonition. If our consciousness, self-accusing soul is not there, our Wijdan is not there, then no one can help us. No one can help us. This is what Imam alayhi salam says, that Imam says that, according to Imam Ali alayhi salam, that this inner wa'iz mu'izzah, from when we are giving advice to someone, which is originating from our heart. It's not coming from our tongue. Apparently, I am using my words, but you will feel that these words are coming from my heart, not from my head. This is Mu'izzah. Mu'izzah, that you will feel that I am well-wisher for you. This is what the feelings you will have. So Imam says, if you have this one, this will become your hafiz. This will be protecting you in your life. Because in every step you are taking, you have lot of hurdles, you have lot of obstacles in your life. You have to choose one or another. And then how you can do this one? You need to make your choices. But if you don't have inner wise, if your heart is not awake, then you are not able to remove the obstacles from your life. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our amal and ibadat. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enlighten our heart with the teaching of Quran, with the teaching of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the fast recovery of those who are sick. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower His mercy upon those who have passed away. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove the pain and suffering of those who are going through very difficult time in their life. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the reappearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin al-masumin.
پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. خود منافق کا پتہ چل جائے گا، خود منافق کا پتہ چل جائے گا. نعرہ حیدر لگا کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خان سجا کر دیکھنا. اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. ہو اگر جنت زمیں پر دیکھنی، ہو اگر جنت زمیں پر دیکھنی، کربلا ایک بار جا کر دیکھنا. تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. تم کو زہرا کی دعا مل جائے گی، تم کو زہرا کی دعا مل جائے گی. پرچم غازی اٹھا کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا، تم مزہ خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا. انبیاء کو دیکھنا چاہو اگر، انبیاء انبیاء کو دیکھنا چاہو اگر حلقہ ماتم میں آ کر دیکھنا تم عزا خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا تم عزا خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا خوشبو رومال زہرا چاہیے خوشبو رومال زہرا چاہیے اشک مجلس میں بہا کر دیکھنا تم عزا خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا اپنی قسمت آزما کر دیکھنا تم عزا خانہ سجا کر دیکھنا بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
If I can ask everyone to please rise for ziyarat.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء وفقنا ذاتك يا مولا وفقنا الله شفاعة الدنيا والآخرة السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا مولا يا صاحب سوى الزمان السلام عليك يا قابة الإيمان إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته اللهم صل على